This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. Several years ago, I was dealing with a case of the blues during the holidays, and therapy was a bright spot amid all the stress and anxiety. Something to look forward to help me feel grounded, and to provide me with the tools I needed to manage everything that was going on.
And if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's completely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. All you got to do to get started is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched up with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
So find your bright spot this season with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw. On today's episode, we're going to be answering a bunch of your questions. We're also going to be talking about a lot of wrestlers potentially going to a lot of different places, including a Stardom star, a certain Rainmaker, and a mystery signee. We're going to start off with that, Larson. Of course, the wrestling internet is all abuzz about who the latest AEW signing is going to be on the latest episode of AEW Unrestricted. That's their podcast, the official AEW pod. Look, we might be Steven Larson's Going in Raw, WWE, and AEW podcast, but we're not the official AEW podcast.
No, there's only one official one. That's Unrestricted.
Right. That's right. And, of course, boss Tony Khan commented on the signing saying this: "Well, I've agreed to terms with one of the best wrestlers on the planet. Someone that's known and respected by virtually..." I'm doing the Anteater character. Remember him?
Yeah. You kind of sound like Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, typically my Tony Khan is a Bernie Sanders. Anyways, he continues. He says, "Someone that's known and respected by virtually every AEW fan in the world. I cannot wait for this top star to arrive this Saturday in Los Angeles and officially sign their AEW contract at Full Gear. And it's fitting to do it at one of AEW's greatest events, one of wrestling's greatest events, and at the entertainment capital of the world in one of LA's premium venues, the Forum. I can't wait to bring this star to AEW officially and have this contract signed at Full Gear." He didn't say who that was, Larson.
No, he didn't, but we're going to get to who it could and could not be here soon. So, if I'm reading this correctly, the inference here is, at least that's my read on it, this is someone who's been in AEW, or has made an appearance in AEW already, just not officially as a member of the AEW roster.
Right. This does seem to narrow it down a little bit, because the tweet the other day could have been open to interpretation. Perhaps somebody who's already in the company that he's signing a new deal. I saw people saying maybe this is MJF having signed an extended deal, but this would seem to indicate.
Yeah, obviously MJF's been officially a member of the AEW roster for a good number of years already.
Since day one. This seems like it's somebody coming in to the company.
But who's already made appearances in AEW.
Yeah, right. Well, that's a lot of people, though. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, no, I mean, they'll bring anybody in, except if they work for WWE. But I don't think that's Tony Khan's deal. If you work for WWE, you want to show up at AEW, I'm sure Tony Khan would be happy about it.
Oh, probably be ecstatic.
Yeah. So who is it? Who's it going to be? Who is it? So we speculated plenty on yesterday's Dynamite review. I think we had at least half a dozen names, if not more. Mm-hmm. But we could seemingly scratch one name off the list. According to Fightful Select, sources have informed them that Mercedes Moné is not expected to be announced as the latest AEW signing at Full Gear.
All right. Well,
as far as who it could be, Andrew Zarian stated in the latest Mat Men podcast that the following, and this is potentially a huge spoiler, so if you don't want to be spoiled, although this name is one that's been often speculated on, feel free to skip ahead. We won't hold it against you.
It's like the most speculated on name, I think.
Yeah, it's like Mercedes and this name, seemingly. Mm-hmm. So anyways, Andrew Zarian was told that it's your last chance to skip ahead. Anyways, Will Ospreay.
Oh, bruv, skip ahead. Don't spoil this, bruv.
Be announced as being all elite at Full Gear. That's what Zarian had to say. These transcripts come courtesy of Larson. So I knew this announcement was coming. So it's interesting how I get information. Sometimes I get it perfectly put together, and sometimes I get it in pieces. I initially thought the announcement, the way it was worded to me, was coming on Wednesday. Then I reread it, I messaged everybody and confirmed this. Full disclosure, I messaged Sean, Dave, messaged Brian. Regulars, I'm like, can I confirm something with you? This is what I'm hearing, and nobody had heard what I had heard. Then I got pretty solid confirmation of who it could be. It could be anything. It could be a swerve. But I put my tweet out, and if you want to go see it, you can go see it. So I'll pause here. Zarian had a tweet of a bird, a fish in his claws. I'm not a bird expert. When I saw that, I thought, is that an osprey? Anyways. Andrew Zarian continues. Says, if you don't, there are only a couple of people. It's not going to be a WWE person because they're still under contract until December. A lot of people assumed it was Dolph. Dolph I could see being there. It's not Dolph. It's only 2 names, really. I don't know when Matt Riddle's contract expires, but that'd be interesting. There's only 2 names it could be, and I don't think it's Mercedes. I was told Will Ospreay. Now, that is a big deal because WWE was actively pursuing him. He is the wrestler of the year. Nobody's put on this level of matches. You know, I can think of Omega's run in 2017. I think the level of great matches that could be possible. The other thing I'm thinking is Ronda Rousey. Last night did some cool business with Athena. Tony's exact words were respected by virtually all AEW fans, alluding to someone who was already on AEW TV before, which means Ospreay. So, Zarian's heard from sources, Ospreay. But he admits here, it could be a swerve.
Yeah,
so,
could be swerve. He's already with the company, though. I mean,
that's actually a joke they made on the show, too.
Oh, I'm unoriginal. So, well, whatever. Anyways, I do appreciate, I like sometimes understanding because, look, man, we're just a couple of dudes. We're a couple of fans, Larson. I ain't texting. The only person I ever text is you and dope NBA memes.
Same.
That being said, it's always interesting to me to hear, you know, he says, sometimes I get information perfectly put together and sometimes I get it in pieces, much like in my mind, Batman and the Riddler. You know, it's like, a little thumb drive and then like a URL and he has to figure out Spanish. So, yeah, Ospreay, you know, disappointing to me. E-Drone wants to see him in WWE, but good for him if this is what he wants to do and continue to work with New Japan. AEW seems to make a lot of sense.
Well, I think that might be a major part of it. You know, I'm not in the head of Will Ospreay.
Bro, you're not in my noggin, are you?
No, bro. But, you know, I think he's recently said that he's worked in an Impact ring. He wants to work in a TNA ring. He apparently is a huge TNA fan. You know, and if you want to have some options available to you and still work for a major wrestling promotion, especially in States, AEW is really your only option. You sign with WWE, you work for WWE, and that's it.
If you want to be on Warner Brothers Discovery Networks and Axis, AEW is where you can do that.
Hey, I saw a thing recently that Comcast Xfinity is bringing access on the lineup of channels, so we can actually maybe watch a TNA on cable television.
Is it going to be like in their basic lineup of channels?
That I don't know, dude.
Okay, more to look into, I guess. More to look into.
So,
yeah, it was kind of. What'd you make of this? When Meltzer was talking about this, he had said, you know, one thing that AEW can offer Will Ospreay is a world championship. I mean, WWE has
it's a world championship match at Wembley.
I was like, WWE has 2 of those, man. Oh, yeah. But yeah, doing it at Wembley. Who knows if WWE is going to go back anytime soon to London.
Yeah.
But
much less at Wembley Stadium, you know.
Right, yeah. Will Ospreay, he liked Wembley so much, he tattooed an incorrect number of people in attendance on his like arm.
Well, it was reported initially correct number. But
I know. And then he said he regretted it. He's like, I don't know why I did this. It's a different number now. They're saying it's not 81,000. Bro.
He'd get that. He'd probably get that covered up with the correct number.
Yeah, I've seen, or just like something cool, you know, like an osprey or like, you know, a fish.
United Empire logo or something.
Right, exactly. Or Jeff Cobb.
Sure, yeah.
Jeff Cobb tattoo.
Like my Great O'Con tattoo.
Great O'Con getting a massage tattoo. Or an AEW World Championship tattoo, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Around his entire waist.
I think there's a lot of cool things that AEW can do with Ospreay. Man, I'm going to bring this up later when we do the questions. Remind me to bring up a thing when we get to questions, Larson, because one of the friendos tweeted at me last night with an interesting scenario, and then it got my brain rolling. I love when the friendos, you know,
does it involve Will Ospreay?
No, but it could tangentially, kind of.
Why not bring it up now? Since
it doesn't involve Will Ospreay. It's like a fantasy booking for the devil stuff.
All right, well, you already brought it up, so let's talk about it.
Okay, fine.
Wait, don't forget.
Fine. So we've been talking about the AEW Devil and who it could be, right?
Yeah.
You and I both think it's Adam Cole.
Obviously.
Right? But what if there's like a little bit more to it than that? What if, because so this is what the friendo said. I'm going to bring up this tweet on, as LA Knight calls it, X, right? Let's see here. Let's see if I can actually find the darn thing. Oh, here we go. This is from a fella named Jimmy. At J4Eyes, EYEZ. He says, I reckon this devil mask story is going to turn out to be Bullet Club Gold and the Elite becoming actual Bullet Club. I reckon Hangman will turn heel. The Bucks already are. Kenny will turn on Jericho. Cole definitely is the devil. And then we have this. And it's a little clip of Jay White. And one thing that he's been saying a lot of, I'm going to be a real Elite champion. I'm going to put the Elite back in this. What do the Young Bucks keep on telling Kenny Omega? Yeah. We want to bring the Elite back, right?
Yeah.
And at first I was like, nah, I don't think they do that. But then I was thinking, like, what does AEW sort of lack right now? They lack that big buzz thing, right? Yeah. Like the big cool factor. And I don't know that this would be it necessarily. I don't know that, or people might look at this at like NWO 2000. Yeah. But could you imagine, given that we always complain about the fact that WWE had so many Bullet Club members and they never really did anything with that? AEW at this point has Kenny, the Bucks, Jay White, they got the Guns, they got Juice, they've got got Adam Cole, right? What if, especially because there's a whole other Bullet Club in Japan, like Bullet Club Prime or whatever they're calling that now.
And then there's House of Torture too.
And there's House of Torture. Are they their own thing now, or are they still part of Bullet Club? Do we know?
Honestly, I don't know.
We don't pay attention. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But if by the end of like Full Gear or something, you've got like this new Bullet Club thing going on. And I know I don't know if they do it then because you need the devil reveal, and that's not going to happen soon if it's Cole, right?
Yeah.
But let's say early next year when Cole's able to come back and they put together their version of Bullet Club, which is Kenny, the Bucks, Jay, Bullet Club Gold, and Adam Cole, and they're running around with Bullet Club shirts on. You could do some crossover stuff with New Japan, but also they can get on the mic as like bad guys and say, we ran one cancer out of here, CM Punk. People will not be happy about that, or people would be happy about that because it's like controversial, right?
Yeah.
And there's this other guy, MJF, who keeps on teasing going to a whole other company. Like, we built this place, and this guy's doing nothing but talking about, oh, where am I going to go? Whoever's going to give me the most money. And so then you got the odds stacked up extra against MJF. Maybe they do take the title off him and put him in Bullet Club, like a Jay White or somebody. And you got MJF with the odds stacked against him. Maybe Samoa Joe doesn't like the new Bullet Club, so he sort of has like, a face turn while still being the badass Samoa Joe because the odds are stacked against him. A guy like Swerve could even turn kind of face-ish. If Hangman does turn and joins Bullet Club, there's a lot of really kind of cool things you could do with that, or people might be like, nah, this Bullet Club jumped the shark already because it doesn't make a lot of sense.
I mean, to get people talking, I mean, it's been a while since Bullet Club has been
relevant,
the topic du jour in the wrestling world. And if you bring back, I mean, they kind of did a bit of a reunion when Kenny was the belt collector because it was him and the Bucks.
Yeah, they did.
Good Brothers.
And Gallows and Anderson, yeah.
So, but it wasn't like a full-fledged thing, I don't think.
Right.
So,
and Wardlow too. I was thinking, I was like, if the big man is Wardlow, that could be kind of cool for him. Wardlow in a Bullet Club shirt, I could see it, maybe.
Yeah.
And there's some motivation there. I was like, at first I was sort of dismissive of the idea, but then I was thinking, I was like, oh, wait a second, that could be kind of cool, maybe.
I mean, here's the only thing about it, I guess. Well, I guess it could still work. If it's the Young Bucks, Hangman, Kenny would be, they would have to be, well, I guess the Young Bucks, Hangman, and Wardlow, they have to be the four backstage attacking the Acclaim because all the members of Bullet Club Gold were out in the arena when that happened. Okay, so that would be the big thing, right? Like, that's what I was thinking when I was laying there at night. I was like, well, wait a second. They attacked Jay White. Like, if it's, but I was trying to remember in my head, like, exactly how much of the attack was actually seen, and if it could have been like a swerve, how they do that. It could be a thing where it could be, because that's what I thought initially before when I heard that the Acclaim got attacked before I watched the show that week on Dynamite. I thought, oh, this is something Bullet Club's Gold is behind to take out the Acclaim, so they can't help MJF, but also to take, maybe the heat off themselves.
The other thing I was thinking of is like they just brought in officially, although he signed in July, Kota Ibushi. They just started revving up this Golden Lovers thing. But then maybe the story can be told there with Kenny Omega being sort of torn between the two worlds, which they've done before. They've done that story before, and they could revisit that story. Yeah. And maybe that could lead to Kenny versus Kota Ibushi at Wembley, which he always wanted to say, I want to do this match in front of the biggest possible crowd. And that ain't going to be WWE at this point. I mean, Kenny's probably on his last contract.
Yeah, his last full-time contract, that's for sure.
But I think there are some possibilities there, and especially with MJF sort of being this man on his own thing. I think there's something that could really work there. You just have to square why they attacked Jay White in the first place. But if you're looking at just the 4 guys that are there, hell, 2 of them could be the Young Bucks. You know, it could be Wardlow, Young Bucks, and I don't know, Kenny or something like that. I don't know. But I think there is something to be said there. And, I was thinking about it also. Tony Khan has sometimes been at his best when he takes an idea that's sort of been done before, but then he tries to do it in a way that doesn't feel like lost potential, because we saw that so much, like with the NWO. There's a lot of good stuff in the NWO, but then in the end, it sort of fizzled out. Yeah. A lot of the stuff in WWE where it's like, okay, he brought over Malachi Black and tried to make the most out of him, even though even that's kind of fizzled out. Yeah. The idea is using familiar ideas, but trying to either put a different spin on them or just trying to do them cooler to their fullest potential. Yeah. And this could be like, a Bullet Club Civil War / an NWO thing where they try to do it to its fullest potential.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, you can even have the Young Bucks join. At least start with that. So you have the Young Bucks, Wardlow, and maybe it is Jack Perry. I don't know. As the 4 attackers. And then if Jericho eventually, they're going to split probably, Jericho and Kenny, so they can't team anymore. So that's going to lead Kenny to gravitate even more towards Kota Ibushi now that he's officially All Elite. You can do the story with Kenny and Kota Ibushi going up against the Young Bucks and then the Greater Bullet Club Gold, but then also you got Hangman, who's going to try to be wooed by them to join as well. And whether he's going to be susceptible to that recruitment effort or not, that could be interesting. Maybe not initially joining it first, but there's probably more interesting stories being told with the Young Bucks joining Bullet Club now and them trying to bring the Elite with them.
What if they try to recruit Hangman and in his stead Swerve joins instead? And Hangman's on, left out, and then you can tell all sorts of stories with Swerve and his ambitions. Tell me like a Swerve Bullet Club shirt wouldn't fucking be awesome. Oh man! And you'd think New Japan be on board because like they're just getting all that royalty merch from the all the royalties from the Bullet Club shirts, which could skyrocket in sales again if they do this right.
I know. Get those shirts back in Hot Topic.
Yeah. But I say this now, and it's like not going to happen. But
yeah, no, that's going to happen. This could be Adam Cole.
But all of no, I think it still could be Adam Cole, but I don't think they do the Bullet Club thing again. But Jay White consistently saying, I'm going to be Elite again, and the Young Bucks using that same term, hey, let's be the Elite again. It's like, maybe there's some fire there. Maybe there's some fire there. Maybe we'll do a half-ass version of what
another issue I could see with that is how Jay White and Adam Cole could coexist as leaders.
Oh, no, that's the thing also, is you have Jay White, you've got Adam Cole, but they've been friends before in the past, but then they also had I think the four-way. So, like, there'd be a power struggle there. If Kenny did join, he's been a Bullet Club leader as well. Yeah. So, like, and then if you introduce an element like Swerve, it's like, well, there's going to be a lot of ambition in that group, which, also kind of echoes the NWO back in the day, how there was always a power struggle there as well. And it's like, yes, they'd have to square that, but you can do that with a really cool story, They can try to establish, like Judgment Day, there's no leaders here, but there's going to be people who want to be leaders of this, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know. I think there's definitely some cool ideas there. I don't think it's going to be the case, but it could be kind of cool, and it could be the thing where it's like it gets people talking, because that's what AEW kind of needs right now.
Yeah.
They have got some good stories going on in certain aspects. I do think they need to work on consistency and letting the stuff play out long term, but they have some people obviously eager to tell some stories. And it's been, the last couple weeks, I think have looked up a little bit But, regardless, wherever it's going to go, it's going to go.
Yep.
Before we continue on with the next story, Larson, would you like to pay some bills?
Let's do it. This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. Steve?
Yes.
Let's be honest here, all right?
Okay.
Holiday season. It can be a lot, yes?
Yes.
Yes, it could be a time of joy, but it could also be a time of stress, anxiety, sadness.
That's true, man. And if you're dealing with the seasonal blues during the holidays, therapy can be a bright spot amid all of the stress. Something to look forward to help you feel grounded and to provide you with tools to manage everything going on.
I mean, I could think of a time when I wasn't exactly looking forward to the holidays and everything that came with it. So back in my mid-20s, and I've talked about this quite a bit, I was dealing with anxiety. And it got really bad. So bad, in fact, that I realized in order to live a happier, more productive life that I needed to go to therapy. It took me a few tries to find someone I really felt comfortable talking to, but once I did, I was able to learn positive coping skills to help manage my anxiety and get me back on track, becoming a better Larson.
So if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. All you got to do to get started is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and then you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
So find your bright spot this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. HELP.com/raw.
Quick reminder as well, while we're sitting here, we're not doing this live. We usually record these on Friday mornings, so I can't yell at people for not hitting that like button. But
well, you can. There's just not the immediate response that you get.
I don't know what the likes are at right now, so I'm just going to ask the people, hey, do us a solid. Do us a favor. Hit that thumbs up because it really helps our confidence as individuals.
Yeah.
We don't want to be low confidence guys. We want to be high confidence guys.
High confidence guys.
And the more likes we get, we inch closer and closer to pure arrogance. So help us get to pure arrogance by hitting that like button. We like a lot of likes. And if you don't hit the like button, what's your problem? If like 10,000 people watch this and we're like at 300 likes, that's a little weird. Let's get up to like 50%. Let's get to 5,000 likes on this video.
I don't see why there's any reason why that's not possible.
Right, exactly.
There's something else that's concerning. I'm looking at our stats here for Stephen Larson's Going in Raw and WWE and AEW podcast.
Let me bring up the data.
And in the last 28 days on subscribers, it's got a rather disappointing number there.
Looks like a donut.
It does. It's a 0.
Oh, I thought it was the letter O. Dang it!
Oh,
you're right. It's a 0. It's not the letter O.
It's like over the limit. We've reached over the subscriber limit for the month.
Exactly.
That's what it must be.
It's oh my gosh, that's a lot of subscribers.
Let's turn that around though. We're trying to get to 198,891 subs by the end of the year. We got a ways to go at this juncture.
Yeah, man.
Over 600 to go. Please, if you could.
Yeah, man.
It seems like our pleas for subs are driving people away, but making people unsub. Nonetheless. Yeah. I don't know how else to do this.
Yeah, man.
You could hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Hit that notify bell to get notified of new content. We do at least 5 shows a week here.
Yeah.
So that'd be really great if you could do that, please, and thank you.
Absolutely. And I know we also have, of course, coming up this weekend, Full Gear. It's the start of Week of Champions 3. It's the Big Predictions Challenge. Of course, we're going to be doing our live reactions to Full Gear, so please join us for that. And you'll know when we go live if you hit the subscribe button and the notify bell. Probably be around 4:30 because we're going to do some kickoff action with what's his face, Samoa Joe.
Oh yeah, MJF taking on the Guns.
Yeah. It's mystery partner. I don't even know that it is Samoa Joe, but it's probably going to be Samoa Joe.
It's probably going to be Samoa Joe.
So yeah, we got that going on this weekend. Of course, the Big Predictions Challenge. You can participate by going to patreon.com/Stephen Larson. There's a new feature over at Patreon. It's a chat feature, and it's just like this endless chat room where they can talk to us. And when I say us, I mean me because I've got it loaded up on my phone right here. But I think to a degree, I've got your proxy like a little bit. If people know that it's me, they're gonna be like, oh yeah. Oh, you're gonna get on right now?
Well, I didn't know it was a thing, so I'm just looking at it.
I just learned about it. So if you're a patron at patreon.com/Stephen Larson, you can chat with us. I hop on a couple times a day, proffer up some scenarios, some wrestling questions for you guys to discuss in a civilized manner. So you can check that out. The Predictions Challenge, of course, you can join in right now and participate across the Week of Champions, which includes Full Gear and Survivor Series. John Hosey is putting his Big Blue Predictions title on the line. Larson's got the ability to cash in, as does Flannelly Dan. And, of course, Noah Holt is walking in with a 1-point advantage, but that could disappear within a match if he gets something wrong, and he put a lot of confidence points on it. Of course, our predictions video is up available right now, the Friendo Club Wrestling channel. Let's talk about Kazuchika Okada coming to the WWE.
Oh, I don't know about that. Anyway,
what? Rainmaker.
Yeah, Rainmaker's great. So in this week's Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer mentioned that there's been renewed talk of late within WWE of trying to bring in the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. Is what Dave had to say. Obviously, they've had interest in him for years, but he's always been loyal to New Japan. The pitch is that he's now 36 and he's close with Nakamura, and Nakamura has worked years in WWE and is far easier on his body. Okada is a name always brought up, but there's no indication there's anything new to this other than there's been more talk of late. One thing Meltzer also points out is that now that Triple H is in charge, that Meltzer mentions the Nakamura story of late. And you can also pinpoint other examples, I'm sure, of this new creative regime booking Japanese talent better.
Yeah, sure.
And using, these examples as Meltzer mentions as, maybe one way that it would entice Okada to come over.
I think it's a smart move, and it's like, number one, Shinsuke should have always been booked as a star.
Yeah.
But if you want a way to say, hey, things are changing around here, and you can expect to be treated, as a featured attraction, that's a good way to do it. What they're doing, Damage Control right now is a good way to do it. Obviously, Triple H has always been a big fan of Asuka. She's had a really stellar career. But yeah, I don't know. It's funny because when Kazuchika Okada sort of popped up on our radar, and I think a lot of people, on this side of the planet's radar back in around 2017. Well, he's 36 now. He was 30 then. It was like, oh my God, he's so young.
Yeah.
And he's getting to the point where he's not so young anymore. Yeah. So it will be. And he's done obviously a lot in New Japan.
I don't know everything.
I don't know what his, aspirations are beyond, having a career maybe in New Japan that can be undisputedly the best ever. Maybe that's his goal. But I think it'd be...
You could almost make the case that he's there now at 36.
No, I know. I get it. A lot of good talent on the horizon, though,
Yeah.
And so we don't know his goals. We don't know personally what his goals are. He's been here plenty, with the strong brand, and New Japan running shows here in the States. But the idea of, he's also been dropped on his neck a lot of times.
Yep.
And there's, you got to think that there's only so many G1s that a guy can do in his life. And maybe he'd be down to bring, his style and his, ring psychology, which is like kind of unparalleled. Like that dude can tell stories in the ring better than a lot of people.
Yep.
And God, who wouldn't want to see a Seth Rollins? By the way, I saw like a clip on Twitter of Seth Rollins trying to hit a Rainmaker on Okada. On
Nakamura.
Yeah, and him ducking it. I'd love to see that with the WWE production behind him, see what that would look like and how they would treat him. I think that could be really, really cool. I mean, maybe that's who Shinsuke's talking about in his promos. I don't know when exactly Okada would be able to come over here.
Yeah, who knows? It could be years from now. We don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he's talking about this now, maybe, I don't know, maybe he's got a contract coming up soon.
Yeah, maybe it's after Wrestle Kingdom. I think that's typically the cycle in New Japan is post Wrestle Kingdom that contracts come up. So
yeah,
maybe. So a few weeks ago, we heard about WWE also having interest in Julia, massive star over at Stardom. In the latest newsletter, Meltzer mentions that Julia apparently has an offer on the table from WWE and adds that Stardom and Rossy Ogawa are aware of it. She's close to Ogawa and did have a verbal agreement to work with him next year. The one thing is that if they sign her to a main roster deal, which starts at $250,000, that is more than she can make in Japan by a wide margin. If they offer an NXT deal, that could easily be matched financially. Sane and Sky did leave Stardom for NXT deals, and Sane left a main roster deal to come back and work an easy schedule, and still made the call to go back to WWE.
Yeah, man. We're making those Tommaso Ciampa $40,000 a year deals. Yeah, I don't know, man. Her presence, her look, her wrestling ability, that just screams. Just bring her to main roster right now, man. Unless they're trying to do a thing with NXT where they, really try to if they try to incorporate a little bit of that old school, black and gold, where you're bringing in some of like the killer names from around the world and bring them in the indie scene and bring them back into NXT. Maybe that you do that, but you got to think that she's going to be in demand, so they're going to have to give her a special NXT deal, not the, standard.
Not the standard one, I know.
Not the Ciampa 40K. I don't know why I keep saying that. It's so messed up. I'm sure a guy
because it looked like he was living in a box truck. That's why you say the Ciampa deal.
Exactly. It was obviously wearing the same shirt, pretty much every time we saw him. It was the faded Ciampa shirt.
And the same camo cargo pants. Yeah.
And now he got the upgrade, a cool $75K. He's able to get some new ring gear, got a new theme song.
No, I prefer the box truck look. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm there with you.
More Julia news here. PW Insider reported today that, quote, there was a belief within some at WWE that Julia would be at the Performance Center earlier this week to tour the facility. We are told that Simon Inoki was expected to come in and work as a translator to assist Julia. It mentions Inoki has done similar work at WWE in the past. As it turns out, Julia was not at the PC this week. One source admitted she was initially expected there this past Wednesday, but was not there. Company sources are insistent in their interest in her for the future.
Do they have like a big banner and like a cake and like welcome
Julia?
they're just sitting around. Yeah, it's spelled Julia.
Oh gosh,
they're just looking around. Where is she? It reminds me of when my niece went to a Ben McLemore camp.
Yeah.
For a day.
They're all waiting for him to show up. Huh?
And then they said, hey, we see a car pulling up. Okay, kids, start chanting Macklemore. Macklemore. They started that. Okay, get them to stop. It's not him. I think he showed up for like 10 minutes towards the end of it. Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. Anyways.
Oh, my goodness.
So
anyway, you want to answer some questions?
Yeah, let's answer some questions. That sounds fun.
All right, we got one here from DJ Hawk.
DJ Hawk.
DJ Hawk. Oh, I have that on my phone. I'll spare you the air horn, though. DJ asks, so far, Triple H's tenure, what do you think has been the worst booking decision? What's the ball drop? What's the fumble? How has Triple H not managed to do anything with Austin Theory? That's my question.
I think I've got a bigger question. Why has he not managed to do much more with Karrion Kross?
It's that, too.
Like, dude, and I'm not just talking about Cross. I'm talking about Scarlett.
Yeah.
That packaging right there is everything. It don't matter if that guy is not like a 5-star wrestler. Like, and I really liked the whole thing about, look at what happens to somebody after I fight them.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I might be staring up at the lights for the pin, but afterwards you feel like an asshole. Like, that's cool stuff. Do more with that. How do you not do? He's got a great head of hair now, too.
He's got an amazing head of hair. Why did he ever shave that off?
I don't know. Yeah, it was like, I don't know. Just keep that.
If I had a head of hair like that, I would never cut it off.
Oh, I wouldn't. Yeah, dude. I'd be grown. I'd look like a lion. I'd look like a lion's mane, Yeah. No, Theory's, you're right about Theory, too. I just see, like, there's so much, I'll put it this way. There's so much more built into Cross at this point than I feel there is in Austin Theory. Austin Theory's he's a really good meal with a lot of good ingredients, but you got to figure out how to put those ingredients together first. You're sitting there, you got your Hello Fresh thing, but you ain't got your card. You're like, wait, what do I do now? You got to figure it out. Cross is just sitting there, man. He's sitting there ready to be served. He's ready to be served. He's getting cold, though. He's getting cold.
He is getting cold. They got to put him in the microwave, heat him back up, right?
Mm-hmm.
AJ Otani here asks, would Drew, Finn, and JD splintering Judgment Day into two separate groups be an interesting story to tell? So you have Drew, Finn, and JD on one side, and you have Priest, Dom, and Rhea on the other. Two warring factions.
Priest, Dom.
Rhea and Dom.
Rhea, Finn, JD.
And Drew McIntyre.
Well, I much prefer the Rhea Priest Dom side of things.
I feel it's more likely that they're conspiring potentially to eventually kick Priest out, especially if he fails to cash in Money in the Bank. Especially if Drew officially joins.
Priest is awfully testy. And he always seems to be, it's like they're having a good time talking about pyramids. And then Priest comes in, he starts yelling at everybody.
I know.
And then Finn has to act like he's mad for him,
Well, then Priest always has to act like, well, I should be the leader. Like he feels entitled to the leadership spot, maybe because he has that briefcase and it's a near guarantee that he's going to be champion at one point. But here's the thing, Priest. He ain't champ yet.
You're not champ yet, and there's no, he might think there's a guarantee. Guarantee.
It's 88% or something like success rate. I mean, it's a 12% failure rate. You could be one of those failures.
If you extrapolate that out to like the last 5 years, I wonder what it's like.
Yeah, I feel like the odds are much lower that you succeed.
Down.
Yeah, drastic go down.
Drastic go down.
Numbers don't lie.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I kind of feel like if I'd have to really think about it. If I got Priest and Money in the Bank or Drew McIntyre without Money in the Bank, I'm looking at the Scotsman. I really am. Because that dude, he's like a walking Money in the Bank. He can't cash in anytime, but he can win like every match and get there.
Yeah.
Priest, I don't know what his win-loss record is, but I don't feel like it's very great.
Yeah, he's being like, outside of Rhea, most members of Judgment Day have been booked fairly hapless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
That's why Rhea's the leader.
Yeah. Oh, don't tell him that.
Oh, I'll tell him.
Oh, wow.
You want a donut? No. Rhea Ripley's leader, Judgment Day. Jonathan Vieira asks, will Damian Priest be in the main event scene post-cash-in, or will he land in the mid-card? I think it largely depends if he cashes in successfully or not. Obviously, he cashes in successfully, he's going to be the World Heavyweight Champ, and on the Raw, he'll be in the main event scene.
Mm-hmm.
If he fails, not much is going to change for him. In fact, he might get kicked out of Judgment Day.
I think Triple H really likes Priest, and I feel like he's going to try to do some cool shit with him.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to bet that he will successfully cash in. God, I like Priest a lot too. I think that he's shown so much personality over the past 6 months.
Yeah.
Him yelling at JD all the time.
Oh, it's great.
It's so good. So I really do hope that, it becomes a success story. And the bottom line is you don't have Vince there. So like Triple H is going to do everything he can. If he cashes in successfully, he's going to do everything he can to make him feel like a big deal.
Yeah, I would hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dylan here asks, who would you guys rather beat Gunther for the Intercontinental title? Chad Gable, Jey Uso, or Ilya Dragunov?
Jey Uso.
More than Ilya?
Yeah. Yeah. I love Ilya, but he's an NXT champion. What do I care about that? I love Ilya. I do. We saw that story before. It was awesome. But I'm sort of at the point where if it's Ilya, he's got to show up on main roster and make his case. And that case for whoever it is at this point has got to be a pretty extensive case to be made to beat Gunther, who gosh darn it, man. He's so good. He's a showman, not a professional wrestler.
The best part, he was doing that with a smile on his face.
He was. He was
having so much fun.
Because he knew the boss would be happy about that.
Yeah.
Because of Mania 13 or whatever. Jey Uso's story on main roster, he's been through so much. To have him beat Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship, that to me is everything. Because Gunther is the man. He is the man. Yeah. He's had this reign for, whatever it is, 500 days or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he's had just killer match after killer match after killer match after killer match. And to beat him, in my opinion, is on par with beating the Tribal Chief. It really is. It's not on par, but it's getting there. That's why I'd love to see Cody. I'd love to see Cody take that thing off him.
No, it's not finishing the story.
Did you see what Gunther said about Jeff Jarrett?
Yeah. Praise.
Oh, man. Awesome.
Praise. How can you not praise Jeff Jarrett?
I know.
Career he's had.
Contra's aligned.
Come on.
I popped yesterday. I was binging the first season of Star Trek Discovery. Because I'd only
Gunther
watched
on there
one time. No, but there's a great part where Sarek is on there. Spock's dad.
Yeah.
And he was using his Katra to communicate with somebody.
Oh.
And it was good stuff. I was like, he just said Katra.
I get your case for Jey Uso. I'd rather have Jey Uso beat Seth Rollins for World Heavyweight Championship. I think the story there is a bit more interesting.
Sure.
Given Roman's failures in beating Seth in title matches.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Ilya's beat Gunther. I know it happened in NXT UK. I don't care. He beat Gunther. Yeah. That's the story. Yeah, maybe you take a couple months to bring people on the main roster up to speed to the rivalry that is Gunther versus Ilya. That's the best match option of all three of them here. Give me Ilya and Gunther.
It's probably the best match. It's probably, hey, Gable and Jey Uso are not chumps when it comes to the ring.
No, they're no slouches. I'm not. That's no shade in their direction. But we've seen it. We've seen Ilya and Gunther put on not one but 2 5-star matches.
Can you imagine if they did that in France?
Well, they got the pay-per-view in Berlin.
Oh, fuck. That's right. They got the Berlin pay-per-view. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Because you saw what they did in front of, nobody. Imagine they did in front of hella people.
Literally nobody. There's nobody in that place. Nobody in that place.
There was nobody there. There was nobody there. Yeah, I think it just did the cameras by remote. Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic match.
It was a fantastic match. I'm just saying Gunther at this point, it's a different Gunther. It's a different time. Ilya needs to build his lore. Whoever beats Gunther needs a lore that's built for the ages. And Jey Uso's got that lore, man. We can both agree, not Chad Gable.
No, not at this point. No. Alex Foster here says, who is a mid-card wrestler who might actually make a decent locker room leader, considering he just tweeted about wanting longer matches for certain wrestlers? I'd say Dijak. Yeah, that's pretty cool of Dijak to shout out a few NXT talents saying, want to see more of them. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Mid-card wrestler. I mean, look, obviously, this is the caveat. We're not there. We don't fucking know.
No, we don't know.
We could name somebody and they could be a complete prick. I don't know.
Yeah.
But somebody who I think might be, I think that a mid-card wrestler. See, I consider Bailey like somebody who could be inserted into the main event scene at any time. She's a former,
yeah, exactly.
Maybe not her, but
because the first couple names that popped in my head were Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, but they main evented night 1 of WrestleMania, so not exactly.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean,
I don't have a name in mind, but I feel like if somebody who's a veteran, who's got a lot of experience, wrestled around the world, that comports themselves in the locker room as a good example without necessarily making a point of telling everybody that they're the locker room leader.
Not in WWE. Like that. Yeah, not in WWE, but I'm going to say Roderick Strong.
Good name.
Right? Like people come up to him and he recreates his gif. He turns around. I don't give a fuck. Who gives a fuck?
But yes, a name like Roderick Strong, who's been wrestling for 20 years, been all over the place.
Yeah.
Probably been in every situation just about you can imagine a wrestler being in.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Probably, I'd imagine The Miz. He's
not a mid-carder. He main event of WrestleMania,
bro, he is the most mid-card guy there is.
Nah, he's a utility guy.
He is the most mid-card guy to ever main event WrestleMania.
Still main event of WrestleMania. Nikal here says, early predictions to who will make their debuts in next year's Royal Rumble. Maybe Jade Cargill.
On the men's side, I'm going to say no one.
Yeah, I don't
Triple H likes rolling with. We're not going to see any legends. He likes, and I love this about him. He rolls with the roster he has, the people, because that Rumble spot means something to every single person, and every single legend they bring in, or every single joke that Vince McMahon used to bring in. It's a gag, it's funny, it's made. No, man, that's a spot that's being taken away from somebody on the roster right now, working their ass off.
Yep. Stephen M. Smurf Galloway says, so with Chris Jericho as an obvious Colin Robinson.
I'm glad that Stephen likes the Colin Robinson joke.
Which other wrestlers, gimmicks, characters would you say embody the 3 other main characters and what we do in the shadows?
All right.
Says, for me, Daniel Garcia being pushed around by all his crews, but being the most capable person of those crews would be Prime Guillermo.
Oh, what a great suggestion. I'm going to say, oh, man, no, that's actually a really good one. Because I was about to say J.D. McDonough would be Guillermo, but he's kind of hapless. He is
hapless.
He eats a lot. I mean, they always put him in there against main event guys.
Yeah. And he's always just so close.
Mm-hmm. But no, Guillermo is like he's the most capable person in his crew.
I'll say NXT Damian Priest for Laszlo.
Oh yeah. Oh, 1,000%. Yeah.
What about Nandor?
You really are the most devious bastard in all of New York City. Matt Berry is just absolutely the best.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, who could be Nandor?
Oh, Nandor the Relentless, sort of not the smartest guy in the world, but an absolute destroyer. I mean, like Braun Strowman, maybe? Because Braun Strowman every once in a while would have those moments where he would come off as kind of a, like it was unintentionally funny when he would have like, a dipshit moment, like just breathing heavy, staring into the camera.
That was his whole story with Shane McMahon, remember?
Yeah. Braun Strowman is Nandor the Relentless. Because the Relentless, I'm not finished with you yet.
Yeah, I'm not finished.
Braun Strowman is Nandor.
All right, what about Nadia?
Oh man. Dude, I don't know if I can think of a good Nadia.
All right, we'll think about that one.
We'll think on that one. Yeah.
We can lightning round a few more questions. Justin Sider asks, "What's your favorite Thanksgiving dessert?" I don't think there's much debate here.
Pumpkin pie with freaking Cool Whip, baby.
Cool Whip, that's the key.
Put that Cool Whip. Hey, sometimes it's like I'll have Cool Whip with the side of pumpkin pie. You know what I mean?
You got that right.
Yeah, man.
David Batushek here asks, if you were to bring back an old wrestling stipulation, what would it be and how would you make it more modern?
An old wrestling stipulation. Oh, man. I don't know. Name an old wrestling stipulation, like the fucking 5-hour shoot matches that are just collared.
Yeah, how would you make that more modern? Is that Bryan Danielson in it? He'll make it entertaining for 5 hours.
Yeah, he'll make it entertaining. He would, yeah.
Brent Dark Horse here. What is a current or old belt everyone hates but you think was beautiful? Brent says the New Japan TV title, which I know you like.
Dude, that's my A title on the planet right now.
Wow.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Wow.
That TV title, it's beautiful. It looks like a TV tray. Oh, it's amazing.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Like you could eat on it.
You want eat a TV dinner off there, don't you?
But it's got that slick orange color for the belt, I think.
Yeah, the strap is nice.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love that title. God damn it.
Luis here says, how do your significant others feel about your nerd passions?
Oh, dude, my wife, when we first started dating, the very first gift she got me was Star Trek 09 on DVD. And I didn't even tell her that I wanted it or ask for it or what. She was just out and about. She saw it. She was like, oh, he would like this. And when she gave it to me, I legitimately thought, I really love her now. And I was like, I might want to marry this girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, she's all in on that Star Trek. I mean, she still gives me I'll be watching Star Trek in the middle of the day and she'll be like, how many times have you seen this episode? I'm like, 75 probably.
Yeah. 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 That's kind of the same thing with my wife is like, yeah, she might rib me a little bit about it, but that's the extent of it.
Yeah.
Cat Dad 7 asks, what's a better rub for an up and coming wrestler beating Cena, who's had amazing wrestling career, or The Rock, who's a more well known name? I mean, at this point, like everybody beats Cena seemingly.
Yeah.
If you get a win over The Rock, that kind of seems like a deal.
Well, considering The Rock, I'm telling you, this was so talked about, not very much talked about. I'm telling you, The Rock said everything except what it was when he was talking about doing the program with Roman Reigns. He did not want to lose to Roman Reigns. He was going to beat him.
Yeah, it seemed like it.
Nobody talked about that. But when he was talking about it, he basically said, I want to beat Roman. It's going to be the beginning of a story, and we couldn't get on the same page. That means they did not want him to win, and Rock wanted to win because he was promoting Black Adam.
Yep.
Yeah, beating The Rock is that's rarefied air. Solo Sikoa just literally murdered John Cena.
Yeah, I know.
John Cena's willing to do that shit for pretty much. No, I'm not gonna say anybody, but I mean, he did it for Austin Theory.
Yeah, I know.
So it's kind of anybody at this point.
Yeah. Blake Whitehouse here says, not a question, but I just want to say that it's weird watching those other channels.
Prediction
videos and not see them use confidence points. I appreciate all the hard work you guys do. Why, thank you.
Oh, dude, all the math we got to do here to go through. Hey, you know, what's in the hard work is Cody Miles. That guy comes up with the predictions forms, and he is, you know, an absolute treasure. A treasure here at Going In Raw.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Man. A wizard with those Google forms.
Yeah, it's like magic. Like that's,
really
I feel
is.
like it's just like the dark arts, you know?
Yeah.
He's like,
that's how all the spreadsheet stuff always felt to me. I don't understand all the formulas you put in there, so results just bang are there.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Weird. It's kind of.
We got a SmackDown preview if you want to talk about that before we sign off for the day.
How about this? I'll do you one better. I'm not going to talk about it. Triple H is going to talk about it. The Game is here with us. I don't know why are you scowling? This is a major get for Going On. We don't have
pleasant conversation. All right, fine.
Well, maybe he'll give you pleasant conversation. I'm in a bad mood today. What do you want? I'm in no mood for pleasant conversation today.
Hi, Triple H. All right.
Oh no. You know. I look across the Zoom, the gulf of digital Zoom, and I see that leathery face staring back at me, just so grumpy and tired, and it just makes me want to puke.
It seems like we have that in common today, though.
I've got to puke.
What's got you down, Triple H?
Oh, it's Friday. Which for normal people, but don't interrupt. For normal people, is like, oh yeah, it's a great thing, right? But for me, I got SmackDown tonight. We're still figuring out what we're going to do for Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
And then, we got the Survivor Series, the Match Beyond coming up next weekend. Yeah. We got this pissant promotion AEW with their thing coming up tomorrow in LA. And I'm like, oh, gosh. I really wanted, I'll be honest with you. Not going to lie. I find it funny. I wanted Will Ospreay. But then AEW snatched him up.
Well, it's not official yet. Until pen hits paper, there's always a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I have no inside information, so.
All right, well, maybe I'll head down there. Maybe I'll take a tank down there and get Road Dogg with me.
Oh, wow.
See if our inside guy, Ilibe Ungay, will maybe enlist Ilway Ospreay. How is this not even fair? His contract's not even up, but we can't tamper. But it's like, what? Oh, so their contract's coming up, and his contract's coming up in a couple of months, and like the AEW's just allowed to do this now? We can't even give like a formal offer sheet. No, I got a lot of cool things on the offer sheet.
What'd you put on there?
DX.
He gets to join DX.
He gets the IP. He gets to do whatever he wants with DX. Yeah, wow. I see he did the United Empire's got green. DX green, same thing. His is more like a royal green, though. It's like a nice forest green. It is like the DX. It's more like Volta.
It's more fluorescent, yes.
Yeah, right. It's like very bright.
Neon, if you will. Yeah. Anyways, you want to talk SmackDown tonight? What can we expect from this?
We're going to break down SmackDown preview. Triple H on the Game. My time. What do you keep looking at? Stop looking away from me.
Oh, my dog's over here. Sorry.
Oh, let me see Dog.
Well, she's right there.
I want to see Dog.
Dog. Come hither. No, not interested. Sorry.
Come on, bring the dog out.
Well, I'm not going to get up in the middle of the... Here. Okay, here she comes.
Oh, here we go. There we go. Look at this. Here goes the little dog's in. Look at this little dog. Oh, it's so cute. I want that dog. That's such a cute dog. Look at that. She's sniffing your leathery face.
Yep.
Licking your salty, leathery face.
That's correct.
Look at her. She's so cute. She's even growing like a little gray beard like yours, too. Look at that. It's so cute.
Yeah, no, I know.
She looks like you. Isn't it weird? Like sometimes like dogs will look like their owners.
I know. It's interesting, huh?
You got a dog that looks like you. It's weird. Oh, my gosh. That's so cute.
Anyway, what can we expect from SmackDown tonight?
Yeah, LA Knight. Boy, his star's on the wane, man. I tell you what, He peaked. That was his ceiling, and now he's going to take on the Bloodline's Jimmy Uso.
Well, he should win this match. Jimmy's pretty hapless, right?
Jimmy Uso's going to eat one of them billionaire finger traps. I don't know, maybe not. I think like the Bloodline needs to get their shit together a little bit.
That's true.
Jimmy Uso.
He is him, Jim Uso, right?
Him, Jim. Yeah, I think that's one way to put it. All right. And then also Bloodline, more Bloodline stuff. Solo Sikoa makes a dominant return. He's going to fight Rick Boogs.
Are you going to bring Rick Boogs back?
Hell no, that was a joke. I'm not bringing him back.
Oh, all right.
Dad loved that guy, though. Because he was jacked. Was the dog peeing in your bed now?
No, it's chewing on something back.
Is it chewing on one of your possessions? Because that's kind of funny. What's the face you'd make if she was chewing on one of your possessions?
I just say, please don't chew on my possessions, dog.
Does she understand all that?
Yeah, she would. I'd say in a very even, measured tone. She's like, okay, I will cease the chewing of your possessions, and I will move on with my day. I will chew only bone.
What a very diplomatic house you have there. All right, anyways, game out. Game over? Was that a pleasant conversation?
Yeah, well, he was grumpy, and then I brought May up, and that seemed to brighten his day.
What a fascinating. So he was grumpy, but then you brought the dog out, and he was happy.
Ironic, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. Poetic, if you will.
Dogs growling and barking on the floor might be a good time to wrap up the show, Steve.
Probably be a good idea. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Hopefully, you'll join us tomorrow for Full Gear from the Forum. We won't be at the Forum. The show will be at the Forum. We'll be here watching on pay-per-view, so join us for that. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Friendo Club by going to patreon.com/Steven Larson or clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Access to bonus episodes, question threads for the Going In Raw podcast, and entry to our monthly wrestling predictions challenges. Join the Friendo Club today.